Shauna, what is the immense possibility of the EDGE as far as you're concerned?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, every time we do a follow-up, the students leave, and this comes from their mouth, not mine, but what I see as the immense possibility is that this program leaves them with a sense of empathy for others and leaves them understanding that they've been judgmental before and they don't need to be judgmental because everybody has a story. And I think in terms of just understanding each other and being compassionate towards one another is kind of the first step in creating kind of a more peaceful existence.
Good. Anything you want to cap that with, Grant?
I'm just so grateful to be on this show, and I hope the word gets out. And as I said, we are a nonprofit. We're starting to get some legs now and catch fire, and I hope that all the schools take advantage of this gift because, in my judgment, the kids need something like this.
Well, I want to thank both of you for being on the show. And Grant, I want to especially thank you because I know that you had a vision for this program and you went out on your own to implement it. A lot of people have been involved, but you, at the beginning, created this and made it a reality that's affecting a lot of children. And for anyone who doubts that one person can make a difference, I give you Grant Williams. So
Thank you.
Great work to both of you. Thanks very much for being on Immense Possibilities. We will be right back with a couple of the students who've been through the EDGE.
There's studies show that if you build relationship in a school community, you will have more success. And so that's the bottom line of the EDGE, is building relationship, a sense of safety, belonging, and trust. And kids say that it helps them.
I'm pleased to have with us a couple of students who've recently experienced the EDGE. With me on the far right is Kavita Carr, who is a senior at Phoenix High School. Kavita, welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. And also Brandon Calhoun is a freshman at Phoenix High School. Brandon, welcome. It's good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about the EDGE. What's something that really stood out for you?
What stood out to me was seeing kids who have this very tough exterior on the outside and seeing them be able to be emotional and be able to trust everyone.
Did that happen like first minute? What happens with that?
It took a little while for everyone to get used to each other and get comfortable with everyone that they were around.
In the beginning, there was lots of chitter chat, talking. Kids were still whispering, but like Grant said, 20 minutes into the line crossing, it got silent. Everyone was really diving into it and, really breaking down and understanding what we were actually all going through together. And I think that was the moment where it clicked to me, like, we're all going through the same thing and we can all relate to each other and be there for each other.
Is that the big discovery right there, that some of the things that are hard, you think you're kind of alone, you or maybe you're strange to be feeling these things, and then you do across the line, a certain question is answered about that, and you're looking at 3, 4, 5 dozen kids cross the line, and you go, oh, maybe this is nothing to be ashamed of. Do I have that right?
Yes, you do.
So can you think of any particularly hard questions or powerful questions, or not questions, but cross the line moments?
For me, when Grant asked if anyone had known anyone who had tried to commit suicide, or you yourself, that one was a tough one for me.
Oh, but do you remember about how many kids crossed the line?
About half, more than half at least.
Wow, I bet nobody was tittering after that.
No.
Was one of the questions in crossing the line, have you ever watched and stood by while someone was been bullied and done nothing? Did either of you cross the line when that question was answered?
I did.
Did you, Kavita?
Yes.
Did most of the kids?
Most of the kids did, yes.
Was that a fairly powerful moment?
It was. It just shows that everyone is a bystander at one point, and that even though the bully is an important part in this situation, the bystander is even more crucial to standing in front of the bully and stopping the harassment or the mean words, things like that can stop.
Especially if it's a real big, tough, physical kid. It's a little scary to stand up, isn't it?
You're right, it is. It is very intimidating.
What makes you think you might have the strength to do it now?
Well, now that I'm closer to my freshman group, that we might be able to stand up. Not just one kid saying, hey, stop that, but as a group, not more than one person, being able to say, stop, that's not okay.
How about you, Kavita? Do you think a big difference has been made just in that part, in the willingness of kids to stand up and intervene if they see bullying?
I mean, all bullies are the same. They're always, egged on by their friends and, doing it because someone else is watching. And so definitely seeing that other kids have been bystanders and they're bullied as well. Seeing that other kids are in the same position as me, it definitely makes me feel like I should be able to do something just because it's the right thing to do.
Did you get more insight through the Edge about who bullies are and why they do what they do? And does that help in some way?
Yes, I think it does. Now we know why they do what they do, and we can be more sympathetic towards them, in a way.
Mm-hmm. Or understand,
Yeah.
they're not some kind of Martian. They're kind of like us in different circumstances.
Yes.
Would you like to do this kind of work, maybe facilitate this kind of work into the future? Or you're already doing some of this work. You're going to stay involved as you go on to college and that kind of thing?
Of course. It's a great experience. You learn a lot and you get to help people as well as yourself at the same time. So it's all around an advantage for me as well as everyone else.
How about you, Brandon? Is this the kind of work that you'd be willing to commit yourself to?
Yes, as Kavita said, it's a great experience, and I think everyone should get involved.
I want to thank both of you. It's really been great to meet you. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Kavita. Hope you'll come back sometime in the future to Immense Possibilities and tell us your next adventure.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Well, there's a lot of reason, really, to have hope. You've seen some of it tonight. And one of them is that the major media has really picked up on this, and it's influencing a lot of people's thinking. We started out the show with showing you a trailer from a major Hollywood film called Bully. We want to take a look now at a music video by a young group called Ariel, Zoe, and Ellie that's getting a lot of play. And if you have children under about 12 years old, it's likely that they're already listening to them. Let's take a look.
160,000. That's the number of kids that will miss school every day for fear of being bullied. 160,000. Together, we can put an end to bullying.
2.7 million. That's how many students were bullied this past year. 2.7 million. It's time for it to stop.
Being bullied at school? Speak up and tell your teacher. You don't deserve to be bullied.
1, 2, 1, 2. Hey, brother.
Hey, bully, who you think you're fooling? Deep inside, you know you're just a loser. Bully, who are you afraid of? I'm not afraid of you, no. You think you own the streets, but it's just an illusion that you keep. Why do you spite and hate me? You don't intimidate me, no.
Well, it turns out that Southern Oregon is rich with programs that energize children and adults to diffuse bullying. One of them is centered in Klamath Falls, and our final guest today is Debbie Vogt. She is the director of Citizens for Safe Schools in the Klamath Falls district. Debbie, welcome to Immense Possibilities.
Thanks, Jeff. Nice to be here.
Like to hear about your organization and its focus on bullying.
Sure. We're a positive youth development agency, and we pair responsible, caring adults one-to-one with at-promise young people. Others might call them at risk, but we call them at promise, though they may be struggling with lots of issues at school, issues like bullying or other sort of traumatic experiences around loss or not doing well in school. The benefit, I think, of what we're doing is we're meeting a basic human need around attachment and belonging, and we're using volunteers to do it. So we're engaging the community, we're enriching the lives of our young people and the adults who participate, and for me, the benefit of that is incalculable. Our human brain requires attachment in order to build those other important strengths like empathy and cognition and planning for the future. We can't get along with our peer groups, and we can't succeed in school or anywhere else for that matter if we don't first have that core attachment, that sense of belonging to others.
I've also heard you say there are two strong winners in a strong mentorship relationship. Say a little bit more about that.
Well, often people see the mentoring as benefiting the young person, and clearly mentoring does benefit young people. But the adults also receive a benefit in that equation. They often understand adolescents and young people better, can be better parents themselves as a result. Amazingly, they're better employees as a result. They feel connected to their community in a way they may not have otherwise.
Are you looking for more mentors? And if so, what kind of training and commitment is involved?
We're always looking for mentors, Jeff. We have a bigger need than there is a supply of mentors. But the requirement is 1 hour a week for 1 year. Folks can do more. We need people with an open mind, somebody willing to be a friend to a young person, a teenager, and somebody who's a good listener. Other than those, so long as they can pass a background check and have good references, anybody from age 18 to 80 would be a great tour.
What keeps you personally fueled up and energized for this work day after day?
Having been an English teacher for many years, I've seen a lot of suffering. I've seen the need. The stressors that our young people are under today are immense, in a way qualitatively different than when you and I were growing up. So I see the need, but the other ingredient in my passion, if you will, is I also see the joy. I also see the benefit. If folks see the video that's on our website, they'll notice a look in these children's eyes of adoration towards these adults and vice versa. There's a real bond and real joy that comes from those relationships, and that in turn gives me joy.
Tell me what you think the immense possibility of your work is.
There is immense possibility here, Jeff, in a renewed commitment towards community and connection with one another. We live in a digital age where many are disconnected from one another, but this kind of work offsets that in a truly meaningful way by connecting human beings. And that really is, when it's all said and done, part of what really matters.
Debbie Vogt, thank you. Really, blessings and pleasure to get to know you. Thank you very much.
Likewise. Thanks, Jeff.
That is it for this edition of Immense Possibilities. We'll be back with you again next week on Southern Oregon Public Television. Until then, I'm Jeff Golden. Please do what you can do.